Oops. Oh, well, okay. I think I just started it. The glare off the hood is really cool, too. Always is there the thought of pressing record. Always is there the thought when I connect with nature and I allow myself to become an open channel for whatever wants to be spoken through me, to share insights on things that will help me grow, and if it helps me, it'll help somebody else. So I'm being encouraged to press record like all the time. Even if I have just a few short 20 minutes or whatever. Because it's even good for myself to look back on and reflect. What level of consciousness am I currently operating out of to provide that open channel of wisdom being spoken through me so that I can learn and grow and expand? And how my expansion of my own worldview will help others in a unique way, never anybody else the same. Whether you resonate or don't resonate with the words that want to flow through me, that's not part of the authority that is acknowledged when you're operating out of your truth, right? When you operate out of your truth, you understand the purposefulness of everything. And again, talking about purpose on another platform, on how everything is on purpose. A recent self-discovery of gifts between the balance of polarity and duality, so I can bring non-dualistic perspective to our worldly experience, to the stream we call life. So always, always, always is it such an honor to exchange energy with you. You as a reflection of me, and vice versa. The non-dualistic perspective does not hold judgment on another person for any of the societal normal categories we place people in. Lower, middle, upper class, whatever that may be, however that may look like to you. That doesn't equal anybody's value based on a judgment of a class, a classification, because we all serve a purpose to the whole, no matter where we fit into the mix, no matter what judgment could be cast. If you're consciously making decisions every day in your life, you are playing a huge role. To the big picture. And that's a lot of what wanted to be spoken or was spoken yesterday. And definitely may have opportunity to also come across in this now moment, in this eternal now moment. It's always an honor for me to exchange energy with you, regardless of your thoughts, your opinions, your beliefs, your judgments, your shortcomings, and or the opposite of that. All of your infinite, limitless potential like being expressed through you. It's not about what's better over the other. It's about seeing how the contrast is necessary for you to find that balance. And then through that connectivity of polarity within you, it allows you to see how everything outside of you is influencing that, and or your perception of it is influenced based on your relationship with your own yin and yang energy, your own masculine feminine energy, your own high low, dark light. So navigating all the different ways that we can find inner balance, brings inner peace, and that'll bring external peace. Because no longer are you influenced on things that are going to trigger you in a way that knocks you out of energetic balance. You can alchemize and transmute and use all the energy that is here, positive and negative, to your benefit instead of your demise. And often the narrative of people's stories, the ones that they deem painfully traumatic, is when somebody did them wrong in some way. And so they held this memory that's weighing them down emotionally in an unconscious or subconscious way. So it's identifying all those different aspects of our memories that are weighing us down to feeling inner peace, true inner peace. I mean, that's the goal. That's the goal. We all want to feel happy. We all want to feel happy, no matter what decisions we make. You know. And however that looks to us, uniquely, individually, is a gift. And nobody can tell you or has the right to tell you how you should think or feel about anything at any point in time. That's your own personal freedom. That's your free will, your earthly free will, to think and feel how you want, no matter who may judge you or how they may judge you. So that's the polarity. That's the major polarity, because judgment will bring people to do uncharacteristic things all the time. It's like they try it all the time. They may try to control a narrative in somebody's life. They may be trying to manipulate how people see someone and or something, because they're deflecting anybody from wanting them to really see who they truly are, right? It's a projection, and people are like getting caught up in the narrative of good guy, bad guy, and who's pointing fingers and who are they right or not. But it's not about that. It's about seeing how you're getting swept up into the illusion that you should have a choice to choose this or that in the first place. That doesn't allow you opportunity to bring balance to the polarity of it, the contrast of it. So everything is just there for you to be more self-reflective in how you can understand the polarity of your experiences and how it's affecting you. And or if it's benefiting you. Like if it's affecting you and benefiting you, or, another way to word it, and so many different ways to word it, unlimited different ways to word it. But allowing the lesson to show its value sooner than later. The sooner you get more clear on what polarity or contrast is being presented before you, so you can bring balance to it, the more masterful you can become with your earthly experience. What you call reality. It's how we find that balance to everything. And we understand this already, like innately kind of, just a normal, like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. But we really aren't focusing on different ways that can benefit us to see more of our infinite nature through that discovery. There's so many different, again, unlimited, different ways to see your true infinite potential and all that you are. And, this is definitely one of the times where, honest self-reflection is necessary for true growth. You have to be honest with yourself. And the ego has us convinced of all these lies. We have no idea. And then, 1101, you may be balancing. You're trying to find that balance between your higher and lower aspect. You must have the two. So it's about bringing compromise to the two. Meaning, how do you see the polarity within everything and bring balance to it so that you can get the most out of it? You're not judging it for negative. You're not judging it for positive. You're not judging it at all. Just, okay, here's something that is representative of one versus the other. And how can I bring balance to the two? 1144. So if somebody is in your life, providing an opportunity for you to see a polarity of something, and usually it has a lot to do with control. Who's trying to control what? Pushing an agenda, pushing a narrative, enforcing this, enforcing that. Accusations upon another is merely just a reflection of ourself, and people really must get clued into the truth of that statement. No longer would anybody's projections of anybody else's life or circumstances be reflective of that person that they're judging. It's reflective of the person that's speaking those words upon somebody else. They're just speaking the words that they have about themselves. This is the truth. We are constantly revealing ourselves in our projections onto other people. And if it's negative in any way on another person, that's just us not seeing our limitless potential in all that we are. We are showing and revealing to ourselves how we feel limited and disempowered because we're projecting that onto somebody else, whether we're creating a lie or manipulating it because we don't want people to judge us in some way, shape, or form for maybe something that somebody may not be proud of. And I know that there's an audience of which that is hearing this information and really needs to hear it, because we're all here, our souls are all learning the same thing, like how to manage judgment of other humans. Like, you would be able to speak your truth if you didn't care so much about the judgment of other humans. You wouldn't have to try to control a narrative or a situation or push, some sort of, push anything, try to control anything. Like, your truth is easily shared because that's all that you know of yourself is loving thyself for all that you are. And if you can't speak your truth, then where is our ultimate power then? Like, our power is within our truth being spoken. And this is why I have gained such an authority over my voice, because how honored I am to share higher vibrational frequency words that help myself expand and help others expand through the process. 1441. Excuse me. So this is a part of the journey that I'm being called to share. And if I don't, then I'm not following my guidance. Following the guidance of which that is saying press record. Every time that I want to center myself and connect with nature, connect with this present now moment, and be empty, become an empty vessel for information that wants to be spoken. Whatever words are going to vibrate in a way that's going to benefit me and others. Now, a lot of times the words that are spoken through my lips do irritate other people because, they're looking at themselves, and sometimes they're doing the very thing that goes against them having to look at themselves. They just are justifying something or accusing something or excusing something or giving a reason for or blaming something. Like it's all a deflection of not having to look at themselves, right? And I'm all about self-reflection, so that could be why maybe people don't like they want to hear the information, but they don't. And it's all part of the process. Nobody has to like anything or accept anything or approve of anything. Nobody is obligated to do anything with anything. But if their ears are hearing my words, then there's a reason for it. Whether it's for them to judge it, for them to release judgment of it, for them to, learn more about themselves. Yes, great. Everybody's here to learn, to help us learn more about ourselves. Everybody's here just helping us learn more about ourselves. That's what other people do. They reflect back to you what you need to see so that you can learn more about yourself. And if they are not being loyal to you in some way, shape, or form, it's allowing you to see how the loyalty in you is the only thing that ever mattered in the first place. You never needed loyalty from anybody else. It was the loyalty you put towards yourself. And what does it look like when you're loyal to yourself? Energetically, what does that look like? That looks like you're free from the burdens of being loyal to anything outside of you. Once you're loyal with yourself, you're automatically loyal with everything else. That's just a given. As within, so without. That's just how it works. So, true loyalty to oneself. And what does that look like? Being energetically free from anybody else's expectation of you being loyal to them. Because people put all of these expectations. Like, oh, you're my mom, you're my dad, you're my brother, you're my sister, you're my this or that. You should be loyal to me. Well, no, not true. Nope. Anybody around you may choose to not be loyal to you, and that has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with them. They are just letting you know that they don't know how to be loyal to themselves. And you can release the feeling of feeling betrayed by somebody you thought should have been loyal to you, but they chose not to. 1919, for whatever reason. And they didn't know. Nobody owes us anything. This is like, seeing the purpose in everything once you release the expectation of everything. As soon as you stop having expectations of people and how they should be with you, like, they don't have to be loyal. That's their free will. If they want to keep lying to you or hiding from you or taking from you in some way, that's what they're choosing to do with them. That has nothing to do with you. Now, if you're aware of their need to balance their energy on you in a way that is causing difficulty for you to maintain a balanced frequency. They're drawing on your energy, so you have to then find different ways to replenish your energy, right? So again, energy vampires, I've spoken of that before, but different ways that when you say energy vampires, like, are they consciously a vampire or an unconscious vampire? Do they know that they're siphoning your energy? And if they, if they do, then is your presence only there because of that? And then you start becoming more aware of how to bring balance to that, because the more you center yourself, the more you're able to, invest time into yourself to be able to find your center point. So it's easier to bring balance to difficult situations or people, places, things, and or memories we have. It does require dedication and commitment to returning back to yourself for answers, for guidance. If you are the only one that you can depend upon, why aren't we depending on ourselves more and more dependent upon other people around us for their opinions, for their guidance, for their support, for their loyalty and or absence of it? Like, once again, anybody that is in our life is there to assist us in being able to bring balance to ourselves so that we can bring balance to that dynamic. And if it's out of balance and you're not able to, the only way that the only way that identifiable is to bring balance is to have your energy separate from one another, then that is necessary as well. That observation, that that action, that actionable step and or energetic exchange, like it's on how much energy is put through your mental, emotional, physical bodies, being an expression of all that you are, mental, emotional, physical, right? You got your triad of your energy. So where your energy flows, where your focus goes is where your energy flows. So you have to make sure that your energy is being expended upon things that uplift you. And if they're not, then you're being brought to that awareness for a reason, to bring balance to it and then move on. The only way you can bring balance to things is by taking judgment out of the equation. Like, there's a lot of things in our worldly experience that has a lot to do with judgment. Either our own judgment of ourselves, which is, that's really what it comes down to. All the different ways that we compare ourselves to other things outside of ourselves. And seeing the beauty in all that we are and just the way that we are. We don't have to change a thing in order to feel peace inside. It's just one major perspective shift away. It doesn't have to take years and or several months or whatever it may be. But to maintain that peace throughout the day, that does take work. But that's the whole point. You are worth it. Your experience is worth your own peace and harmony and balance. Nothing outside of you can throw you off. Can you imagine being able to respect and appreciate everything that comes your way in your path, no matter how painful it may be? Like, really, really release the judgment of the pain, because we learn through pain. So if somebody else is bringing you a lot of painful experiences through betrayal or loyalty or dishonesty in whatever way, just know that they're there to show you the contrast, so you can bring light to the equation, that you can bring balance and peace and harmony to it, that you're being presented that opportunity to see that contrast in a major way for a major reason, for a major self-realization, where now you understand that energetically you are more capable than you thought you were before that challenging situation. When you can maneuver through what other people would normally have been manipulated by, right? Like, sometimes people go way out of their way to try to control the narrative of your life. And it becomes very obvious after a while of what is really happening when they're trying to do that. Like, why are they projecting their disempowerment onto that other person? What is it about them that's not balanced? Like, you got to really, really, really understand everything's just a projection of our inner state. So if you're judging something and you're putting somebody else down, that's just a reflection of yourself in some way, shape, or form that you put yourself down in. So somewhere you're putting yourself down. And that's revealing to you the truth of that, that projection into somebody else. And if you're trying to hide any malintentions you may have against somebody, and you want them to look a certain way so that you're not looked at negatively, then it will really be a disadvantage for you when the truth is spoken without your willingness. If you're able to speak your own truth, that's the whole point, not fearing what other people may say about you, to control the narrative of your value, of who you really are. And if you can't speak your truth because you fear that people are going to hate you, well, you're allowing them the power to devalue you before you even have a chance to speak your truth. You're allowing their opinion to matter more than your own if you can't speak your truth. And that's what it comes down to, is really identifying all the different ways we are giving our power away to other people. And why it's happening, like, it's just seeing things in a disempowered state. And what does disempowerment look like when we are expressing it, socially, in our social circles of relationships with different people? There's one more here. I can press pause. So bringing balance to everything is what the whole message that wants to be spoken. And oftentimes that'll come through in varying different perspectives, because we're understanding polarities more and more as we place our focus on them, and what it really means to bring balance to the polar opposite of everything. And if you need to seek outside of yourself the polarity to see within yourself, that's allowing the universe to act as a mirror to you, and that's great. And they say go within, go within, go within, but sometimes you need to see the reflection in order to see within, where you need to go within. Where are you choosing not to allow yourself to visit within yourself? 30-30. What are you hiding from yourself? And that's a big one. It's been spoken before about our identities. I've spoken about our identity and how we have a relationship with our identity based on our relationship with who we think we are, or our value. It's in direct relation to our value and our self-worth. If we're seeing ourselves as limitless beings or not. If we're operating out of fear, then we're feeling limited, and that is not allowing us to expand. And it's important to see your expansive self because you're kind of a big deal. Always have, always will. It's just all what's to be spoken that way. You're kind of a big deal, and you matter. Just the way that you are, without being self-reflective in any way, just the way that you are. Whether you're hating the words I'm speaking, or you're loving the words I'm speaking, and or you're finding that balance and harmony between the two. That wants to be preached. Polarity to everything. If you're judging something, you're hating something, you're blaming something, that is a good reflection to yourself. What you need to seek within, through what's being mirrored back to you. See how things outside of yourself are affecting your perspective in ways that aren't allowing you to grow. Because everything presents an opportunity for us to grow. We just need to seek it. So, one of the ways we can seek it is through placing, where we place our focus. And that's definitely a topic of conversation that I want to speak live on as well on Instagram, is where we're placing our focus. And why are we choosing to focus on the things that we're focusing on? And if we're not paying attention to where our focus is going, then why are we allowing ourselves to be so whimsical in our everyday decisions? Not be purposeful and deliberate and intentional, because we know that where our attention goes, grows. 33. Allow yourself to connect to all that you are, and you're gonna find your expansiveness and how you can see more and more of yourself to you, reflected back to you through your ability to self-reflect in different ways. Challenge yourself to be able to self-reflect in different ways. And value the way that you look at it now. But just be aware that your perspective now is the ever-expansive version of that could be, right? So honor that. Honor your perspective now. Honor your perspective today. And see how you can grow tomorrow. But it's not about tomorrow. It's about now. I mean, it's a mixture of the two, right? So, because ever all is and could be. Was, is, could be. The whole past, current, and future. The triad. And the triad is balanced when you're more focused in the now. But we are so used to placing our focus on the past or the future. So we're missing out on where it is, the sweet spot is, to bring balance to the two. Because it's only in your now moment that you can go back and change the past. It's only in your now moment where you have the chance to create a higher timeline for a better future. It's only in the now moment that matters. Where is your heart right now in this moment? Are you absorbing the sunset to come? The energy of that which is being presented through the recording while listening to what I'm speaking? And or just turning the volume all the way down and you're not listening to anything I'm speaking, you're just capturing the sunset. The more you release the tension to negative situations, the more you can feel lighthearted about them. The more you can feel like you can talk about your hardships in a funny way. Because it uplifts your spirits through the lessons that you learn through the hardships. You're no longer negatively being brought down to the challenge itself. You're being uplifted through the lesson and the liberation that you experience through that lesson. Or like, usually it's like lots of lessons that you can learn. Lots of lessons through hardships. Varying different levels to go deeper and deeper within yourself. To see how you can energetically free yourself from the burden of the experience versus the liberation through the experience. You know, you can bring that balance to the two. And I believe the reason balance is really wanting to come through is because of I was just showing, like, in light of the season of our planetary alignments and the eclipses that are upon us. It allows us to focus more on that center point field, that 0 point field, that place that exists in this now moment where we have the ability to impact all of time. Past, present, future, right? Because it is our present. Our present is the only thing that exists. Truly. And then within each passing moment, it creates a memory, and that memory feels very similar to a vivid dream. And that's been a topic of discussion being brought to awareness once again about how life feels like it can be related to a dream when you refer to your memories of your past. What do they turn into? It's a dream. So you get to shift your dream of life in your now moment. Change your past by changing your now. The only way you can change your past is how you see it. You can't specifically like time travel back to the past and do something different. No. But how you see it can change everything. And then through that process, you're also allowing to trust and have faith in what the universe has to bring to you, and that you're drawing into your experience, what it is that you're drawing in to experience, so you can learn and grow. So bringing that lighthearted perspective to the challenges that you have experienced and or are experiencing or could possibly experience in the future. Throughout all space and time, and any challenges and or fear of them. 4044. You can see what it is within you that is not allowing you to see it in an empowered state versus it's just more of a disempowered state, right? So remind yourself of how important your now moment is. You know, where are your thoughts? Where's your energy being channeled to? So I was just speaking about how I'm challenged myself with the polarity of judgment of others, by which the narrative has been manipulated to try to get others to see me in a certain way. And that judgment of others, even through the choices that I make, because the choices that I'm making go against what others believe should be made. And they're not understanding the angelic meaning to the work that I perform. And this is all through the guidance of my angelic team, which is the whole point. I'm going against what humans would think is valuable versus what my angelic team finds valuable. And there is truth to this because of my walk with God, of my walk with my commitment to all that there ever was, is, and could be. My commitment to sharing my experience with everyone that can find benefit. I'm being guided to do the exact opposite of what other people would think, so that I can receive that judgment, that negative judgment, so I can experience the polarity and bring balance to it by allowing what needs to unfold to show that the work that I am doing has significant value and purpose and meaning. Sharing my lessons learned and speaking my truth is a huge part of the process of encouraging others to do the same. Everybody's perspective, everybody's lesson has significant value. And if you know that you've gone through some major trials and tribulations so you can experience the contrast that was necessary for your evolutionary growth, and you want to, bring those experiences to the forefront, of which that you see the value and the growth that happened within you by bringing balance to that challenge, that hardship. And sharing that experience with others, it's gonna help you understand how you could be more of service to yourself and others just by speaking your truth, just by speaking your lessons and your growth. Many a times I have said that I have been challenged with extreme scenarios and situations that brought on judgment, victimization, and fear to the forefront of my earthly experience by the situations that were caused by other people outside of me. It was deliberate and intentional for my growth, so I can help others understand what it means to experience such extreme levels of polarity and bring balance to the two. With love, with pure unconditional love. Nothing more, nothing less. Love is always the answer to bring balance to everything. But we hide that truth from ourselves based on certain belief systems that were created through traumas we never healed. And so we remain stuck in our own limitation, our own pain, and our own suffering, and not elevate beyond the victim experience. Because you had to become a victim in order for you to see what it takes to bring balance to that and bring peace and resolution to it. And it's through the power of love. That is understanding of loving all that there ever was, is, and could be in everything, just the way it is, loving it just the way it is, loving people just the way that they are, allowing them to make whatever mistakes they need to make in disempowered states so that they can have soul growth lessons, allowing them to be as loyal or disloyal as they want to be for whatever lessons they need to learn. But you are here to learn lessons about you through their expression of disempowerment, revealing to yourself whether or not you are truly acting in disempowered states, and or are you empowered, walking in your truth and your authority. And in the honor of knowing that every choice that you make is a gift, and that's why every choice is sacred. Every choice should hold high value to you, because it'll create your experience necessary for your growth. And handling those moments delicately, being consciously aware of them, is a huge advancement to you maneuvering this complicated experience of a dream we call life. Seeing that the complication is really something very simple, and it never was complicated to begin with. We just thought of it that way. So, stepping into reality bending moments means that you're able to shift drastically in your perspective of who you think you are and what you think you are. Because your value and your meaning and the discovery of that is everything to your earthly experience. Everything. and seeing your true value, your true worth, your unlimited, your pure unlimited potential, tapping into areas that you've never dove into before. By looking at yourself in a whole new way, by what's being mirrored back to you from the universe. And why you are a gift to everyone and everything, just the way that you are. Now, that doesn't excuse yourself from having to then give excuses, right? Just be mindful of when you're giving excuses, because it's pretty obvious now what that means. Nobody will be able to ever project a narrative on somebody else ever again once we see that it's merely just a projection of them. That's all it is. If somebody wants to try to put somebody else down or make them look a certain way, it is because they don't see their infinite potential. They don't see their true value, their true worth. If they did, they would be speaking nothing but high things of them, even if they're operating out of disempowerment, even if they're operating in decision makings that aren't of the light per se. They're deliberately and intentionally hurting other people. So, understanding the power you have is within you, seeing that you are the only one responsible for you. And how freeing it is to love everyone and everything just the way that they are. How freeing that is. It brings so much peace to you. You can walk with grace, knowing that everybody's just going to be who they're going to be because they don't know how to be anything else. Like, you just, whatever that may be. They may be, problematic people. They may be harmonic people. It doesn't matter. It all is valuable to the whole. Let's swing at that. There we go. I've been placed in many situations, and I've been placed with the experience of going through situations, allowing me to see extreme polarity, so I can bring balance through discovering what it means to love through it all, love through every moment of shadow attacks, right? Like when you're placed in a victim situation where there's somebody constantly attacking you, nonstop, 24/7, energetically, mentally, physically, spiritually. In those moments, it creates plenty of opportunity to see the reflection of victimization right back at you, so you can bring that balance and harmony to whatever may cause you to believe that their attempts to attack you has anything to do with you. See, releasing that perspective is where you find that balance. That's why it's important to see the understanding of how people are projecting outwardly all the time, how they feel inwardly. They're just operating in a disempowered state, so no matter how much they may be actively trying to take you out, it has nothing to do with you. Now, in a way, your light is bringing about experiences for them to act upon you in ways that they have free will to do, either choosing to bring balance or choosing to operate out of one or the other, right? there is value to every challenge we experience, because we can discover what it takes to love someone else, even though they might be hurting you. And this is not a martyr perspective. This is loving their free will to choose to show you the contrast that you need to grow. If you didn't need that, it wouldn't appear. If you didn't need that contrast, it wouldn't have appeared. 55-55. You are meant to experience everything in every moment. And that presents the gift to this opportunity now, in this now moment. That's where the gift is to see how you can discover the gift within the challenge, within the hardship. What is the gift? It's making decisions through the power of love. Just, they are, the people that it could be operating against you, they are operating on disempowered states for you to see how you're operating out of a disempowered state. And can you bring balance to the situation by just being made aware of that? Yes, you can. You can release the need to try to control anybody else and what they choose to do, because it has no reflection of you. That's not a burden that you should be carrying on your shoulders. How anybody may see you or think of you or perceive of you, no matter what role they play in your life, that frees you. You're not doing things to please other people. Now, again, becoming completely aligned with your missionary work is 9 times out of 10 going to bring you to experience doing the opposite of what other people think you should do. And that's just to show how the wonders of the miracle we call this life works. Because if you're really operating out of your aligned missionary work, and it's what your soul came here to do, and you're in complete alignment with that, then magical miracles are going to appear in your life to affirm and confirm that you are being supported in your energy exchange of how you're giving back to your experience, to other people. How you're giving back to the whole energetically. And for some, all it takes is just recognizing that them just living, no matter what they're choosing to do or focus on, has value. Everything has equal value when you start seeing the balance of everything. It's just the contrast you need to see. Just taking a few breaths, right? Knowing that everything's gonna be all right. Everything always is going to be all right. We don't have to actively try to control outcomes to situations. If you know that you're acting out of integrity, I myself have made integrity of highest priority on this path of self-discovery. Because if I'm valuing myself, that means I'm speaking my truth. And through speaking my truth comes power. And not the egoic power of which that can be perceived on a limited value. I'm talking about infinite power. Because it's pure love. Love for thyself, to speak the truth. Because I'm the only one that's being responsible for me. Nobody else gets to decide that for me. So I operate out of integrity, with high values and morals, for the betterment of all. Always, always, always. For myself and all. Always repeated over and over and over for 6 years. Always for the betterment of myself and all. Anything and everything that I do. Never have I done anything that was negative towards somebody else, because the whole journey was about finding how love is the answer. Love is the key. How do you bring balance to it? Through love. And love is in alignment with the truth, with authenticity, whatever that may be to you. Not hiding behind a mask. You're sharing your genuine, authentic, real self. You speak your truth. You have no restriction on how you see yourself. And it doesn't matter what anybody else sees you as, because it's a reflection of themselves. Really, like, you can see yourself in them, and they can see themselves through you. So that's the gift of relationships. Don't be too attached to how long people are in your life for. Just allow the energy to speak for itself. Is there something to gain with that energy exchange? And you get to choose how you exchange your energy with it, with anything and everything at all times. Yeah. Connecting to yourself through your heart space is where you're going to find a lot of the answers to manage through, like, challenging situations that you were too scared to look at before through your heart space, where you felt like you had to detach from your heart and make more of a headspace decision. It's about the balance between the two. And if love is always the answer, well then always channel any decision you make through your heart space. Not just all logic, not all head. Imbue that purity of love through your decisions, and you can't go wrong. It doesn't matter what the heck decision you got to make. You cannot go wrong if you follow your heart. You cannot. You can never fail, ever. It's an illusion that you could possibly fail if you follow your heart. It's all part of the illusion. What do you love? Oh. Yeah, so I just hit download real quick, but what do you love? What do you love to do? Share yourself and your energy in places where it makes you feel good and most rewarded. And by speaking of your situations in life or challenges in life and how you've grown from them, knowing that you learned some valuable lessons and you want to share it, you should be speaking that. And this is what took a minute for myself, or collectively really like putting to a response of responsibility to myself now to share what needs to be shared so I can continue my healing journey. That's what it's all about. We're always growing through our lessons learned, and by me speaking about things that help me evolve in varying, perspectives, unlimited perspectives. I'm encouraging others to be their, unique, your uniquely beautiful self, just the way that they are. And seeing the gift in that. And it's difficult sometimes for ourselves to see our worth that way, that we actually hold significant value just based on loving ourselves just the way that we are. What if it's possible? It's just your breath, your awareness of breath, that you find significant value in just each and every breath. What if that's possible? 108. We owe it to ourselves. We owe it to ourselves. We really do. For feeling better about our earthly experience. We really have a tendency a lot to take things really serious all the time. Like everything's so serious and not lighthearted. Like everything's so traumatic. And some people that are like, oh my gosh, if you're surrounded by anybody or know anybody that intimately that could be related to drama activity, like things that surround a whole bunch of drama, you can get swept up into the mix of drama where you're like never even involved in it all, right? Like I'm standing way left field here. I'm doing my own thing. I'm not connected to anybody's drama. That's on them. If they're trying to involve me in their life for some reason, it's because it's drama filled for some reason. Like, I don't know. Unless, they really respect our dynamic, like, of pure, honest exchange of energy. 1, 10, 10. A lot of ones, 1, 1, 1. This is the time. This is the time that we have to be aware of what it means that other people are constantly projecting onto others their own limitations, their own disempowerment. And you can release yourself. You can free yourself from that burden. And you can feel lighthearted about it. You can joke around about it. It's not going to like, bring your energy down anymore, because you now learned how to alchemize that energy through the lesson you learned. Transmute that energy through that lesson you learned. And here we go. Bam. We're on our way. Discovering how we can transmute negative energy and turn it into positive in a significant way. A huge monumental opportunity for growth when you see that much contrast through somebody else. 1, 1, 1. Again. So you see that much contrast for a reason. 1, 11, 11. So that's her gift to herself in this experience. We chose polarities. We chose an experience that had the opposite feel so opposite. To experience the polarity in a such a tangible, like a very, very tangible form, where your senses draw you into the experience of tangibility. Is bringing that balance of seeing the opposite of that, the transparency of it all. And it's all energy. So it's really a moment to reflect deeply upon yourself for the kind of growth that you can experience. Through self-awareness and very specific aspects of our perception of self and how it reveals to us things we can heal within ourselves. It's beautiful. So we have that opportunity to give ourselves that gift. I'm saying yes to ourselves. I'm committing to myself now. I'm going to see more and more of the expansive expression of self through transformation of understanding that there's no limit to who you are. No limits. There's no limits at all to who you are. And how beautiful that is. That's a truth that vibrates very, very high, that loves to be spoken through my lips. 1:14:14. The beauty of our infinite expression, how unique we are and how gifted we are. So pulling that in close to our heart space. Releasing the need to judge anyone or anything, because releasing the need to judge yourself. You accept yourself for all that you are, all that you ever could be and will be. You love yourself for everything, because You're the only one that's responsible for seeing seeing over your experience of life. You're the only one that's responsible for seeing over your experience of life. How you experience life is totally on you. How you experience life is totally on you. Not everybody has to feel like a victim in their life. You can understand that. That's just the polarity you need to see. Doesn't mean that you being a victim didn't happen. You could have definitely been victimized. Your rights being violated in some way, shape, or form, or multiple forms. Your basic human rights, right? Your so. And if that's the case, then that's something you have to follow your guides with on how to manage through that adversity, through that contrast. Which, keep trying to reach for the lotion, but okay. Seeing more of things in a way that's more energetic versus emotionally responsive. If you have an emotional charge to something, that is your clue, that's your feeler, that's your antennas reaching out, stating that you need to pay attention to this so that you can bring balance to it. Because that emotional response is something within you that can bring, that brings up something that might have an outdated perspective that you no longer need to hold anymore because you didn't see the lesson, but you do now. 1717. It was now the time for you to place awareness on what it is that needs to be balanced out in your life. You're constantly revealing that to yourself through people, situation, places, things. And humans are very thick-skulled. They need to go through a lot of pain before they learn a lesson. Going without for a certain period of time so that they can see that they never went without in the the whole time to begin with. Seeing that the polarity presented itself, an opportunity to have balance within too. Once you discover your true value, your true worth, your infinite potential. Is always being expressed. And your pure awareness of how you're a gift to this whole, like the bigger picture. Like your mere existence is a gift to the bigger picture of everything. Like it's a huge, like you're, all the different ways that I can word the value of one single life. No matter how they choose to live that life, it's just the life itself, the energy itself, the value of that. It matters to the whole. So everything is necessary, everything is on purpose, everything is needed for our growth. Imperfect balance. We just don't see the balance because we're not balanced within. And or we don't see how we can bring balance to it through balancing out, on the inside. So it is an absolutely gloriously beautiful, colorful-rific. Very colorful. Bounce of light off the water. It's still. The water is still. Yes, it's a good suggestion now to bring stillness to your thoughts. There's an overwhelming it feels like sometimes there's an overwhelming amount of information that wants to be shared for lessons to grow from during sunsets. But any time throughout the day, that's the whole point, to record more. Even if it's just, 10 minutes, 15, 20 minutes, whatever it may be. Not just during weekends and or free time for, sunsets. So, a lot of information wants to be spoken right now and recorded, captured, so others can hear. 121:21. We owe it to ourselves. We do. That's what really hurts. So you really need to check yourself before you riggedy wreck yourself. We really just need to get down with the whole flow of releasing the need to judge yourself and just really start digging on yourself for all that you are. Seeing the beauty for all that you are, seeing the gift for all that you are, seeing that you more and more and more, how that's possible. How is it possible that you could actually be you actually have significant value to the whole? All the different ways of how you can discover your value to the bigger picture, no matter what decisions you're making, even if you're making raunchy decisions, or you feel like you are, or you don't want to be judged as making them, or whatever. Your dealio may be. Whether you feel like you're making honorable decisions or not, it's just the value that you provide to the whole regardless is the whole point. Allowing everyone to be just the way that they need to be, perfectly just the way that they are. And that release of having to control anyone or anything outside of yourself is freeing, is liberating, is uplifting, is inspiring, is encouraging, is relaxing. And it's necessary for us to see clearly. The reflection, like glass on the water, is reminding me to just continue expanding upon how the mirror is just the mirrored universe to ourself is found within. And only we can see it for ourselves, the unique way that we're meant to see it, ourselves in the reflection of what we're seeing and witnessing. And that's the beauty of it all. That's why you're such a blessing, why you're such a gift to the whole. Why you matter so much to everything, because you're able to perceive it. That's a gift right there. That's huge. I got a lot of 3s and 8s in my awareness right now. But the blessing is you discovering you. That's the blessing. To see exactly how friggin' awesome you really are. The whole, you're needed, you're beyond needed. And people like some, again, like there's a wide range. There's everything in between, and there's infinite different perspectives to this whole relationship to self thing. So if they already feel like they've got an expansive view of self today, and that they are open to seeing new opportunities tomorrow, what a gift they can be to themselves, to be of service to others. That expansiveness within you allows you to show, to just mirror that back to others and help them discover their own expansiveness through your expansiveness, through your journey, through your walk, through your experience, through your perspective, based on your current level of consciousness, how you relate to yourself and everything else around you. You seeing more clearly how big of a deal you are is huge to the bigger picture. It is. Because the sooner you get clued into the fact that you're kind of a big deal, and like in a really expansive way, in an unlimited way, an infinite way, like how big of a deal, like it's huge. Like the realization of it on an infinite level. Loving one another, not for thinking we owe that to someone. We owe it to another person to love them. No, then there is the wrong motivation behind that sensation of love. It's love shall be organic in its expression of truth. Meaning the truth is everyone will be the way that they will be. So why should the way they choose to be affect whether or not you're able to love? That's the kind of power of love that emanates through me, is a love for everything just the way it is. There's no judgment. That's where the polarity is brought balance. So you just reveal to yourself more and more and more how kind of a big deal you are. And it's just downhill from there. You just keep seeing more and more and more of how amazing of a being you are. It's never ending. That's the whole, surprising part, I guess, of it, is that there's no end to how grand you can see yourself. So, I think this length of video is pretty intense, but a lot of moments where you have that chance to reflect. On the beauty of yourself. I mean, this picture right now is just gloriously, it's just so beautiful. The water bouncing light of the sunset is just so picturesque. Yes, yes, yes. Unlimited different ways to see yourself and the beauty that you are. Mm. So, energetically speaking, in that truth of seeing all that you are. Because you are the expression of creation itself, which there is no limit to creation. That's who you are. There's no end to you. And discovering new ways to look at things based on how you perceive yourself. Like your shift in your perception of self allows you to look at things differently. And that's the truth. And that's true. People do need to hear that through my voice. There was a pause there. So I connect with my environment on an intimate level to be able to bring insight and information on an intimate level. It's an honor to be able to share in perceptions of growth and self-reflection like this on an intimate level. And what that really means, like that's huge. I mean, the picture doesn't stop getting more beautiful. So beautiful. Man, just had a moment there. I paused it at 1:32:32, but it's just still so gloriously beautiful. Just like the message that really wants to be spoken about, like why people are stuck at judging themselves and not seeing the beauty that they really are, and release that judgment of ourselves and forgive ourselves and forgive everyone else and everything, and a level that is so beyond what forgiveness can even be looked at upon. It's just love for all things and the value that could mean to us. The value that what that can mean to us. We slow down and we just stop to smell the roses, per se, like this sunset that I'm adoring right now. I'm blessed with an opportunity to be able to share with you the experience together in this togetherness moment. Anybody that's listening, right? And I always speak with love from my heart. That's how I know. I always act with love within my heart, and that's how I know. It's always been the answer. It's always how I've been operating my everyday life. And that to me, is important for me to share that with others. What that means, what that looks like, when you are understanding that no matter how much hardship you have, it's about learning how to love through it. Not that the challenges will stop or appear or be brought to your awareness. You are the only one that gets to decide for you how you're going to respond to anything at any given point in time. And so that's how you can really exchange your new worldview and paint it on the canvas of your reality screen. What are you painting on the canvas of your reality screen at any given moment through your perceptional worldview of seeing your infinite potential, your infinite expression of self? How is that being painted? Are you feeling trapped, or are you feeling free in any way? And start seeking different ways that you can reveal to yourself the gloriousness of the now moment. Still receiving rainbow energy to help clear, cleanse, balance their chakras, our primary. And when we have that harmonic balance and flow between all of our major primary energy centers, we can make more clear, decisive action, decision, bring more of a fire to our everyday approach to how we choose to see our experience every moment of every day. How we choose to see our experience is entirely up to us. It's our responsibility. And we owe it to ourselves. So, if you are someone who can relate to feeling like you could have been victimized at some point in time in your experience, you relate to being a victim, then yes, that's confirmation. You came here to clear that program out for sure by seeing the contrast in your experience, your everyday experience. So I shall close. In tonight's beautiful moment connection, expansive opportunity to see the gift that you are. And if you already see the gift that you are, that's freaking awesome. You already see that in you? That's awesome. Right out, man. Right out. But then continue to reveal to yourself how you can expand upon that. And as always, I thank you for you being you, and however you choose to appear. I honor everyone's free will first and foremost, beyond anything and everything. No expectations. Your free will to choose to do whatever you need to do for you. And if what you do affects me, then I have the free will to choose how I'm going to respond to that. So, I love you. You beautiful, magnanimous souls. Have a beautiful night. Namaste.